Hello and welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How are you, mate?
As always, Matto Phillips.
Unlike Damo Camilleri, who's still not with us.
For the
Busy playing
third month-
Genshin.
For the third month running.
Yeah, third month. Has it been that long already?
It's been close.
Shit. He's just been busy playing Genshin and making horrible statements online that the worst Fire Emblem is better than the best Paper Mario. And that's just flat out wrong. It just shows he hasn't played Paper Mario in the 1,000-Year Door, you fucking clown. I hope you're listening to this, Damo.
You'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out soon enough.
You'll be getting post spams of just Fire Emblem in your DMs.
Given the fact that I don't think he even knows that we've put the feelers out there for temporary replacements. Not that we've really acted on those too much.
So,
but
you might come to your house and just take away your glass cartridge or whatever it is, the Fire Emblem.
oh
Do you
yeah,
get one of those?
yeah, I got one of them right behind me. Somewhere in this box.
Don't show him that. He'll be there in no time.
Now he knows exactly where it is too.
He'll kick you. Oh, no, he won't do that. That's the day before. No, let's not talk about that.
Nah. All right. So what we're going to discuss today is the fact that PlayStation announced last week, after months of people saying, where are the state of plays and where's this and where's that they're going to be having a kind of 2020 style PlayStation showcase. A bit like what they did with the PS5 last year, where they kind of announced the console and a whole bunch of stuff coming to it. This time they obviously don't need to announce a console. And they're just going to be announcing a whole bunch of stuff coming to it. It's about a 40-minute long video, and the only disclaimer they've provided, and they're usually really good about this, they say, okay, God of War's not going to be here, or don't expect to see this, or don't expect to see that. The only qualifier they've put on this whole thing is that that PlayStation VR 2, or whatever it ends up being called, the next gen of PlayStation VR is not going to be there. That is the only thing that they've said won't be on the table. So what we've decided to do, as is kind of patched fashion, is we're going to get into some predictions and probably get a whole bunch of things wrong. But we've decided not to just go with the simple, 5 things each. We've kind of created a bit of a structure for this whole thing. We're going to talk about what opens the show, what closes the show. We're going to look at the first parties.
Unheard of.
Yeah.
It is
just to kind of steer and guide the conversation a little bit more, and we can kind of spread the wings a little bit. And I won't lie, probably pandering to myself a little bit, who's got a shit ton of views on this whole thing. So, and an opportunity to make sure I said everything I need to say about it, as opposed to focusing on just 5 things where it would have been, I don't know, God of War, Gran Turismo, and Horizon, and have like 2 other things left. So we're going to kind of, I sent you a whole bunch of prompts earlier today that we'd discuss. I've kind of assembled those in a little bit of an order. Since then, something I kind of thought was somewhat logical, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Let's begin by looking at what actually opens the show. So what game do we expect? Because, PlayStation these days, since, kind of 2017, 16, 17, they've kind of, rather than get the talking heads out straight out the gate, they focus on a game. They open up with a game and show off gameplay or a fancy new trailer, or they announce something cool. So what do you think is going to be kicking off the show?
Jim Ryan getting thrown out the door. No, not really. If only.
That would be better than any game. Please.
No, I'm not thinking a game.
And bring Sean Layden back.
Well, there is a game, but I'm just thinking, to start off with, a new look PS5.
Oh.
Just to piss off all the scalpers that have got all their other PS5s sitting in a warehouse. And then they come and go, hey, it comes in black now. And everyone's like, oh my god, it's black. Or what was the other one? The red one, the cosmic color.
The cosmic red. Do I have that controller around? No, I don't. But I guess that'd be a bit like what Xbox has actually seen at the moment. And I think we'll do a topic dedicated to all things Halo Infinite in the near future and what's going on with that. But
we need to mix it up a bit. We've talked about, I reckon half our episodes this year have been about Sony.
Yeah, well, I don't have my PlayStation show anymore, so this is probably...
Well, there you go. This is probably the first time where we're not actually just bagging the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Like the rest of them. We don't know.
We don't know. So we'll see what happens in this episode. But anyway, shit, I've forgotten now. Oh, yeah, with Halo, they announced their limited edition console that's coming in December. And people have got the shits up with that because there's a bunch of people that are still, all this time, they haven't been able to keep up with the stock for the regular Xbox Series X, let alone a special edition one that comes out. So people are just, they can't reliably get a console as is, so how reliably are they going to be able to get a special edition one? I feel like the same sort of thing would apply here with PlayStation as well, which I think is why And I guess in some PlayStation news that did come up this week, they officially dated Horizon Forbidden West and announced special editions and all that, which, in case the internet hasn't seen me come clean about the whole thing, not only did I buy one with the Tremor Tusk in it, but I bought the other one with the Tremor Tusk in it as well. So there's 2 special editions, both with 2 different versions of the Tremor Tusk, the giant elephant thing. And you better believe I'm spending $700 on that.
Oh, there goes the kids' college fund right there. Yeah. Just take it out. If it's not a PS5, there's just going to be a re-release of The Last of Us Part 2. And a date.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I'm actually going with Horizon to open up the show because they didn't show it at Gamescom outside of say, hey, it's delayed and here's the date, and then they had their pre-order thing during the week. I feel like it's a few little dominoes in a line here, with the final thing being not necessarily gameplay, because they showed us a gameplay trailer.
It was a while ago.
Earlier this year, I think. Yeah, it was earlier this year. They had a dedicated one. I think it was maybe May, June, in the lead up to E3.
Just after E3, or was it before E3?
It was in that E3 window for sure. And I mean, that was pretty sweet, but I don't think there's that much more they're going to be able to tell us until we get way closer to the release date, until maybe in the new year, or maybe even as late as, say, the Game Awards. They might go again on gameplay. So I think this might be just a really heavy story trailer to kind of set the scene as to what's going on, which is a good cinematic way to kind of kick off the event, in my eyes anyway. But it'd be kind of cool if they did announce a different SKU of PlayStation.
5 minutes or something.
Yeah, not too long, because obviously they don't want to show off something that they've been talking about a little bit in the last few weeks. But I think that's their way of ticking the Horizon box, which they'll need to cover. So that leaves us
more gameplay of just how you can shoot someone's chest plate off, and then shoot them in the heart.
Yeah, possibly.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Stab someone with a stick. Who knows?
The next one is the first party bit, and I think that's, and what we're specifically talking about here are new first party reveals. So we've got a question coming up that's going to be, God of War and Gran Turismo 7 related, because obviously they're kind of the other announced exclusives that we know about, and they'll have their day in the sun for sure. But what we're talking about now, and I guess you've already kind of hit on it, talking about The Last of Us as a potential option there, is kind of new first-party reveals. So stuff from Naughty Dog or Sucker Punch or Insomniac or whoever else. Do you have some ideas as to what other games will be announced from the PlayStation first-party side? And one thing I'll throw out there just before you start it. David Jaffe, who, a little bit of self-promotion, for a moment. David Jaffe recently on Dave Diary, but
Jaffe.
But the creator of God of War, he doesn't really make too many games these days, but he still has a lot of connections at PlayStation. He has confirmed, just through sources that he has, friends that work there, there's going to be at least 2 things that kind of fit that quote-unquote kind of Sony sort of mold. So kind of what we've seen from Uncharted and Last of Us and God of War, that really heavily cinematic style thing. Now that could just be God of War and Horizon, for example. I don't know, but he's confirmed there's going to be at least 2 of those that are going to be there. So that's maybe a little disclaimer to put at the top there. But what ideas do you have?
Well, I thought it only came to me then because you said the guy from God of War was maybe another Journey type game. Not exactly Journey itself, but sort of another game
Sony definitely
similar
doesn't own them,
similar to Journey. Can be like sort of, was it the Darksiders with the 4 little people? You just have.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, like a kind of multiplayer sort of take on that same sort of idea.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Which I guess Journey kind of was, but you never interacted with anyone. So yeah, I know what you mean.
Or the other one is the actual game Kojima is actually working on.
So you don't think he's doing this thing with Xbox?
Oh, who knows? We don't know. It's Kojima. He's trolling everyone. He would just probably come out. He'd probably come out on stage with a phone and just log into that stupid app that no one can figure out how it works.
Oh shit! Yeah, okay. Not bad ideas.
And then there's this big preview trailer comes and everyone's like, "Oh!" And then it crashes, and he walks off.
Yeah, tail between his legs, and that's it. All right. So when it comes to me, you kind of touched on a little bit when you were talking about The Last of Us. So I've got 3 different Last of Us related things that I think are going to pop up through this whole conference. And I know that seems insane at first, but I also think it kind of makes a hell of a lot of sense. So
I'd say DLC 1.
I don't even. I actually don't.
Why
Well,
do
I
you
suppose
think that?
there might be. So I'll save that for kind of one of our other prompts coming up. I think to you, I think I'm showing my hand as to what I might be talking about, but the audience has no idea yet.
Rector's
So when it
Cut.
comes to first party reveals, we obviously heard through Jason Schreier earlier in the year that there is a Last of Us remake that's going on. We discussed that in a patched episode.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Forgot
that'll
about that.
get announced because that is a not an easy job, because I think Naughty Dog's got a very specific vision for this thing, and like even if another team was working on it, which they're not, Naughty Dog is, but even if another team was working on it, they would want to almost take over the whole project anyway to make sure it's done and done properly. So that's still going to take a little while, but I think like it's still significantly easier than actually developing a brand new title, for example, and shorter to do. So I think the fact that we've known about this thing for close enough to 12 months at this stage, and then the fact that it's just a remake as opposed to a brand new title, I think it adds up that maybe 2022 is the right sort of timing for that, and therefore making an announcement around September, not bad. I also think The Last of Us Factions, so the multiplayer that was meant to come to The Last of Us Part 2, that they kind of delayed, and they've been constantly hiring for months and months and months. I think that might get a reveal, and I think they're really. I mean, we've obviously seen that Ghost of Tsushima Legends has had a big hit. It's been a big hit in kind of that, I guess, in that Destiny sort of space, in terms of the fact, the kind of ongoing service and drop in, drop out co-op and raids and all that, those prolonged raids and all those sorts of things. Like, that's had a lot of success, and I think they're going to look to try and make The Last of Us Factions into a big tentpole that kind of works in a similar fashion. I wouldn't even rule out the possibility that we see something that actually, not that Naughty Dog's ever one to just kind of follow a trend, a popular thing, but I wouldn't rule out the possibility that there's even some sort of battle royale component to the whole thing. The Last of Us kind of makes sense in that respect, that it is kind of a fight till the very end, and you take out everyone's sort of idea. So I feel like it makes sense.
So sort of like the Gears of War Horde mode type of thing.
Kind of. No, I could still see. I don't think it'll be how many people drop into a Fortnite match? Is it 50?
100.
100.
Is it? It could be 100.
I don't know. I can't remember. But obviously these are like, they're massive numbers. Whether it's Fortnite, whether it's Fall Guys, obviously the concepts are very different, but they're all that same sort of thing. I don't see The Last of Us being that big. Like, I could see 20 people dropping into a single match, and it'd be a very different sort of battle royale, because it's going to be very slow. It's going to be methodical. It's going around and finding crafting bits and pieces. There's going to be, if they're kind of building it on The Last of Us Part 2 DNA, for example, well, then there's going to be the hide. You can hide under a car and all that sort of stuff, and like really leaning into the stealth side of things, which most other battle royales don't do. I think it could be really fantastic if they went down that path. It might even be a battle royale that I actually get into, but. Whether that's the actual product or whether it's just a mode within that, I don't know, but I think we'll see Factions. Here's one for you. Spider-Man 2 will be teased. Just teased.
Oh, yes.
Like,
Just
maybe
teased.
no more than a logo, maybe the equivalent of what God of War got last year. Because they have just put out Ratchet. Less than a year ago, they put out Miles Morales. They do have multiple studios there, and the team working on Miles is not the same team that was working on Ratchet, and they do even have a third studio, but I think they're working on a VR title. I wouldn't rule out the possibility, we just get like a splash logo and maybe a teaser that Venom is kind of the key villain in this.
Nah, it's a puddle.
It's
a puddle.
It could be the puddle. The puddle comes back to bite us all again.
Puddle is back.
I've still got more, though, would you believe it, in the first party side.
Go on.
Dreams will get a PS5 version. That's not necessarily a big deal, but I think it's a good way to get people in the gate with that thing while there's still not a massive number of titles on the PS5. Sony London will show up in some capacity. Now, they're the team that's done things like a lot of VR stuff in recent years.
Isn't that one the gun?
Yeah. So they obviously did PlayStation VR Worlds. Yeah, I've just gone blank on the name as well. Blood and Truth,
yes.
They put that out, and I think they are still working on a VR title as well, but obviously we know VR is not going to be there. They've been expressing over the last year or so that they're keen to get back and do some more traditional AAA stuff as well. And they're the ones who did The Getaway back in the day. Remember the old GTA like?
I remember
kind of
that.
Even before GTA was really big.
Yeah, I do remember that. I was wondering whatever happened to that.
And they were working on a third one at one point, but that died.
There's two? There's a second one?
There's The Getaway and then The Getaway Black Monday, I think it was. Both on the PS2. and there was a third title that was in development at some point, and it just fizzled out for whatever reason. They went on to make iToy and SingStar and everything under the sun that wasn't kind of what us core gamer sort of folks would have liked.
That's just goes down to a low. SingStar.
Yeah, they were successful. It kept going.
It's just SingStar.
Yeah,
I know.
And I've got one other in that first party space. They'll announce what we all kind of believe or want to believe is happening, is that they're buying Bluepoint. So remember there was the leaked image when they announced Housemarque. I think that was totally legit. They stuffed the whole thing. When they stuffed it, they said, okay, let's just delay it till we have some sort of reason to announce it. They'll announce it there. Maybe with a Metal Gear remake that everyone's kind of speculating about. Yes. But I feel like at least we'll get the announcement of the studio being picked up, but maybe a game to go with it. That's me done for first party for now. It kind of leads to our next question, which is, do we think that there's going to be any director's cuts announced? Given the recent trend, because we've obviously just had Ghost of Tsushima, we're about to see Death Stranding. Do you think there'll be a director's cut revealed?
No, but I'll just put some down just for a laugh.
Oh, yeah, go on. Naughty Bear director's cut.
I never thought of that.
Naughty Bear would be amazing.
Naughty Bear. What was the app that didn't work that could get a director's cut?
Because it works this time.
But the other one I put in, The Order 1886, or you can have a sequel to that. Do whatever. I want to know what happens after.
Well, the studio can't make it anymore because they're owned by Facebook.
What?
Yeah, because they're the same team that did like Echo Arena and all those sorts of things, and they got bought by Facebook a few years ago to work on stuff for Oculus.
Oh, that's going well for them. I thought that was going.
Well, no, they're doing good stuff. They are doing really good stuff. But
I thought they were going to be doing Farmville or something.
No.
No Farmville.
No, they're doing good quality games, but they are the people who did Daxter back in the day. They did the God of War PSP titles. They did The Order. So it's a bit of a shame, but it is what it is.
Well, Well, maybe that, or a director's cut. This one's definitely not going to happen. This is like a true patch prediction. A director's cut of the PS1 Classic.
Because the controller will actually have joysticks this time?
Well, actually, no. It'll have the correct format.
This bastard didn't have a joystick.
Yes, the correct format, some better games, and also the DualShock controller, because they just thought, let's just copy Nintendo this time around and just not have the joysticks. I remember playing that. I remember playing that. The one thing I remember was going, I want the one with the joysticks. Back in the day of the PlayStation 1. No one plays with that's for losers. When you have a friend come over, you go, here, you can have the shitty controller.
Exactly, that's exactly how it went.
That's what that is. Instead of like, hey, here, have the shitty console with the shitty controller.
But the thing that friend used to hate when they'd come over to my place is that I'd throw them the shitty controller and then I'd play a single player game anyway. So what the fuck am I doing with this controller for?
Pretend to play.
You can watch me play Final Fantasy 9, champ.
Watch me jump this rope 1,000 times.
Which I couldn't do until earlier this year.
20 years.
Any other director's cuts?
Not that I can think of. I was really trying to go through it all and thinking I'm trying to think of games that I'll not say didn't do bad, but just had a problem with it. I couldn't think of any. I was trying to think no.
I mean, I'm not thinking about it through that lens. I guess those games kind of need some help as well. But I like the ones that we've seen director's cuts so far. Like Ghost of Tsushima was a Game of the Year winner at a few outlets, and certainly in the top kind of 4 or 5 for most people last year, or most outlets, I should say, last year. Death Stranding was in the same boat in 2019. And so I think The Last of Us Part 2 is going to be, and that was my Last of Us predictions, that I think Last of Us Part 2 is going to get a director's cut, which is where your DLC thing comes into it. I think
right.
Ghost of Tsushima, it'll be bundled in, like the DLC gets bundled in. If you got it on PS4, you can just download the DLC and the next-gen upgrade if you want.
What, they can't call it the Game of the Year edition? It's just...
No, it seems to be this branding thing they're going for at the moment with these director's cuts.
I
It does
I
sound
hate it
fancy.
so
Like,
much.
to their credit, it does sound kind of prestigious in a way. And I mean, think about
Right.
everything that happened with the Schneider cut. Like, the way
That's
people
what they
just lost
say.
their mind over that.
One bloody superhero film, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's a brilliant idea. Let us do it." So we're gonna get the Kojima cut on anything soon, or
Well,
the
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding, or the Doug Bowser edition,
Yeah, I don't know.
or the Jim Ryan, which is just a piece of shit. The
Yeah.
Jim Ryan edition.
The other one
Which,
that I'll just float, it's not one I put down in my little notes, but the other one in the director's cut space that I'll just float out there, which I think is then going to preempt an announcement to a sequel somewhere down the line. But they don't want to do that yet because they've got a title that's in developments coming out in January next year. I think that Bloodborne will get a director's cut announced. Because people have been losing their shit for an eternity about the fact that it doesn't have 60 frames and it doesn't have this and it doesn't have that. Bloodborne is owned by PlayStation, developed by From Software. I think we could get, and it'll be more of the Death Stranding sort of mold there, where like Death Stranding's just adding some kind of very small cosmetic sort of things, minor alterations, as opposed to a big DLC slice like Ghost of Tsushima, or like I'm suggesting will happen with Last of Us. But I think maybe Bloodborne finally gets what what people have been asking for a long time, and then there'll be a sequel announced sometime after Elden Ring comes out.
and we have officially moved on from graphics, and now it is frames per second.
It's all about that frame rate.
The graphics are great. Now it's just, this frame rate sucks. Or PlayStation fanboys going, oh, look, Xbox's frame rate drops by one whole frame in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Like, oh, Jesus.
Bloodborne
You gotta
fans
pick up.
specifically, as opposed to necessarily PlayStation fans, but Bloodborne fans specifically have been losing their shit because Dark Souls 2 and 3 and those sort of things on the Xbox side through the, what do they call it again? Kind of like the smart delivery, but I think it actually might be their smart delivery and those sort of things. No, the boost stuff that they do. Like some of those games are being boosted to 60, even 120 frames per second in some cases, and then people sit back going, "But like Bloodborne is the best of them. Can you just do it for Bloodborne?" So I think they'll get what they want.
No, it's not an Xbox game. Sorry, we cannot compute.
Yeah. So I think Bloodborne will get its director's cut. But moving on from there, the indies. What do you think we might get on the indie side of things?
Well, I was trying to figure this one out. I'm trying to think of all the indies that I've played, which are very little. But there was one, and that was a sequel to Concrete Genie.
Oh shit, that was the one I didn't mention in the first party thing. Yeah, because they're not even indie. Just so you know, that studio's actually owned by PlayStation. No, they're owned by PlayStation. Pixel Opus.
Ah, no.
Sorry,
Okay,
that was
that's
my
not an
other
indie
thing, but
game.
I think that is almost a sure thing on the first party side. They
Well,
will
I've got
100% be there.
I've got nothing.
Well, look, it looks very indie. I'll give you that. Like their titles look very
That's
indie,
not
but
what.
yeah, I think you're onto something there. Expand on your
Oh,
thoughts,
God.
though. Okay, sure, it was in the wrong section, but expand on your thoughts. Do you have any idea what they might go for?
No, who knows what they'll do? Because I'm trying to figure out how do you expand. Well, you just start all your paintings and all that. Maybe more monsters.
So you think
Maybe
a sequel, though?
A new breed of monster comes in to take over a town. Don't know if it's the same town or a different town or a different suburb or area of where they live. So,
It's possible. It could be interesting. I'd like to see a sequel for Concrete Genie. I feel like they'll do something new, but I'd like to see a sequel for it.
maybe
a
there'll be
really
more
cool
fighting, some more combat, which
Zeroing in on bullying some more. I guess the reason why I don't think they'll do a sequel for it is simply because, like, how do you try and spin a story that's kind of, when you've already gone there once with this whole bullying thing, childhood bullying and all those sort of things, how do you try and go there again?
become the bully.
Yeah, and then you learn from your mistakes afterwards, and then it turns out it's actually a prequel to the original game, Red Dead style. You end up becoming the kid who gets bullied in the sequel, which was the first game.
That could work.
I don't know. Could be weird.
No.
Any
Don't
other
bully
indie ideas
kids.
at all?
No, I was trying to think of all the indie games. Like I can't just pull out blank. I know there's there's the other one. I can't remember what it's called.
Kana?
The one that keeps getting Kana. Yeah,
Yeah.
is that an indie one?
Yeah, that's an indie title. Yep. I mean, it doesn't really look it. It's obviously got a lot of money being thrown at it from probably Sony, but again, these are the guys who did that Majora's Mask fan film years ago. That's amazing. So they've got animation chops. But yeah, Kana was on my list. That's the first one, and that comes out this month. So I think there'll be you might see the launch trailer for that. It's like 2.5 weeks away, or probably 2 weeks away by the time the event goes on. So I'm hoping that I might even have a code roughly around then, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think they're going to double down on those indies that they showed off last year. So Kana was one, Solar Ash was another one. So again,
I forgot about Solar Ash.
Drifter. Stray, the one about the cat.
Oh yes.
I think
See, now you say all these games now.
They're all starting to come to you.
I'm like, oh, they come to me now.
Jet the Far Shore, which I don't know what they'll do about that one because, and the internet's not been subtle about this. Codes are already out there for that one. A lot of outlets haven't. The game's not out until October, so they're going to have like a month lead time on this thing. So I don't know how much they can say about that because reviewers kind of have it already, and the world can kind of find that information very easily. And if they didn't know that, I've just told you. But they've been publishing it on social media, so they're not trying to hide it. But I think the core thing, and I have no idea what the games would be, is that they're going to kind of obviously they copped a bit of a bashing over the course of the year, and we discussed this in a past patched episode about how they're kind of treating indie developers. I think they'll double down on the indie stuff because they'll want to squash that messaging. And I think it won't necessarily be a massive one. They're not going to go and show 20 titles off because they don't have the time to do that. It's a 40-minute presentation, and they've got a lot of AAA stuff that they'll want to cover. We haven't even touched on third parties yet. But I think they'll try and announce like the next kind of 4 and 5 titles that kind of occupy that same tier as Kana and Solar Ash and those sort of things. Because Kana, Solar Ash, they're both out this year. Again, like this month and next month for Solar Ash. Jet is out next month as well. The only one that's not hitting in 2021 is Stray. And so I think they'll kind of announce the next wave of those, and it'll be that kind of those marquee indies that they're looking for. And I think they'll kind of announce those, but it'd be smart if they even put a little sizzle reel on the end with about 15 others to just say, hey, look, we love indies. We aren't as bad to them as everyone's saying that we are, and that sort of thing. They won't directly address that, though, because that's all back-end stuff that they need to resolve with the developers themselves. So another interesting area to discuss is the third parties, which I suspect you've got a few more thoughts on.
Yes.
What do you think from the third party space?
Well, I think we're definitely going to get a release date for Grand Theft Auto 5.
We do already. November.
We do already. Okay, then that one's done. We don't have to worry about that.
No, but I think they'll show it off, I think. Surely.
See some more. Yep, see that 60 frames a second or whatever it is.
They begun the PS5 showcase with Grand Theft Auto 5 before they even showed off the console or said anything about anything else. They showed off Grand Theft Auto 5. So I think Europe's still onto something.
Get some more shark money or whatever their currency is.
Shark cards, yeah.
And maybe they'll show some gameplay of the new COD game, unless they've already showed that.
They did it at the Game Awards, but it was a very low-key... Sorry, not the Game Awards, Gamescom, but it was a really low-key thing. Like, it was a very different Call of Duty tone, so I think you'll get that high-action, bombastic sort of thing. So I think you're right.
The other one, Cyberpunk. Do whatever. I don't care.
That'd be
interesting. You come and go, yeah, sorry about that. Here's all the people that weren't in the other consoles. Here's what was meant to happen. And all that. Well, they won't say it like that, but...
Yeah, I know what you mean. That'd be really interesting.
See if people get excited or angry or who knows. There's not going to be a crowd,
I think people just want the game to work. That's all it is at this point. I think people just want it to work.
Yes. I'm pretty sure people are sick and tired of patch after patch after patch. Like... It's almost like a whole hard drive full of patches.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Just put out the PS5 version that kind of wipes the slate clean, and the Series X version, and just... But they did talk about it during the week. It seems like they're kind of 50-50 as to whether they'll actually get that out this year.
Yeah, I think they've learned their lesson from last year.
Yeah, just play it easy and don't commit to anything because it could come back and bite you on the ass.
Don't say anything. Just be quiet.
You need to fix up your what's the word I'm looking for? Reputation. You need to fix up your reputation.
I was going to say
need to take a risk. Yeah, could be that too.
I was going to say Crash Bandicoot, but I'm pretty sure that's
Oh.
already out. Or whatever.
Wait, which Crash?
Team Racing. No, not Team Racing. All
Like
of
a
them.
Crash 5?
Or Crash 5. Crash 4.
Give me Spyro 4. It's time to do
Spyro
Spyro
4?
4. That'd be
Maybe
nice.
Spyro 4. That'd be good.
But all their resources are directed at COD these days. It's giving me the shits. It's Call of Duty
COD.
and it's Blizzard and their stuff. It's Activision's a shit show at the moment, and that's ignoring all the
other
behavioral
stuff.
issues, all the other stuff. It's just like they're throwing all their resources at Call of Duty, and it's just not a sustainable. Like, it's huge now, and it will be huge for 10 years still, but it's not going to last forever, and all your talent will have left. So,
Well, they need to do something because everyone's leaving Warzone for other games.
are they? I haven't seen much about that. I tune out to Call of Duty.
Because of cheaters
Oh, right, okay.
ruining the game. But my final one, or the one I thought of, there have been rumours of it all week, or today, I'll say today, but we might see...
Oh, I think I know where you're going.
Go on,
No,
say it.
Alan Wake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it gets.
Well, they
announced.
see like a trailer or a frame rate preview, whatever you want to call it, of Alan Wake.
Well, the game is like if the I think it was like a Taiwanese store or something like that listed it on top of
And of all places.
Oh no, it's
Wait.
always those in Hong Kong and a lot of those kind of
They
Asian
sure it's
region
not
ones.
they sure it's not like a pirated copy that they just got their hands on.
It could be, and we just saved
$2.
PS5. No,
Alan,
I mean
Alan with an E.
their date said it was coming. Elaine Wake
Or
Elaine Wake.
or ELLEN.
Yeah. I can get around it. No, I mean the thing that came out when it leaked on the store is it's coming out early October, so it'll be a short turnaround and just announce and boom, it's out in 3 weeks. See you soon, guys. And this will be the first time that PlayStation people can actually play Alan Wake, so that's like I can't wait to dive into that game again.
Oh,
I'm
really?
so excited. Oh yeah.
it was only an Xbox thing.
Yeah. This was
Back in
when
the
Remedy
day.
was real buddy and Xbox, so that
Oh,
and Quantum
not
Break.
buddy anymore.
And these days they've
Yeah.
they've gone third party because
Right,
they weren't making enough money with Microsoft. Like they weren't selling copies, and the games they were making, both Alan Wake and Quantum Break, if you think about kind of the way they look and the way they play, they really feel like what we're seeing from PlayStation first party studios, which is why actually like a year ago I thought they would have been a good fit to get acquired, but that hasn't happened, and probably won't for a while because I think they've got to deal with Epic as well for some
games.
upcoming games. So they get, if they get picked up by PlayStation or someone else, it's going to be a while, but unless it's Epic. But yeah, I think it's a good one for them to do it, and it just allows them, because obviously we know that the Control DLC teased Alan Wake stuff. Like there's a whole bunch of Alan Wake related stuff in that. To then put it out on PlayStation means that now they can look at a sequel and go, we don't have to worry about a certain audience not knowing what Alan Wake is. Everyone knows what Alan Wake is, so we can actually deliver it to PlayStation, to Xbox, to PC, maybe even Switch as well, or Switch Pro or whatever the hell they maybe do in the future.
Google thing.
Yeah,
The Vita.
Stadia, all that sort of the
Stadia.
Vita. God bless the Vita. Yeah, the Stadia. Like they could look at doing all that stuff, and they don't have to worry about brand awareness anymore. They can just deliver it to everyone, and everyone's going to be okay. So I think it's really good marketing on that side, and I'm just really excited as a PlayStation fan to play it on that platform because I love Alan Wake and I want trophies for it.
Damn trophies.
Oh yeah,
You want trophies?
give me trophies. You got any other third party ones?
No, that's it.
Right, so you pinched one of my... I had 4. You pinched one of mine with Call of Duty, and I think that was kind of the most obvious thing anyway. Hogwarts Legacy, which I suggested for the Game Awards, but with it not... Sorry, for Gamescom, but with it
I
not
thought
being...
that was a PlayStation game.
No, it's not a PlayStation game. It's just...
Oh.
They got you with the marketing, because they announced it at that PlayStation Showcase last year. So they make it look like that. But no, it's coming to Xbox and PlayStation. It's coming to both.
Oh,
so it just... Because they're kind of buddy with PlayStation, it's clear that it won't be a Game Pass title. So you'll have to pay for it on Xbox. But
oh no,
what?
Oh, well.
Pay for games on Xbox?
Outrageous!
This is bullshit.
I mean, there's only 400 other games on there.
Yeah,
one game I can't get. What a shame.
So Hogwarts Legacy, I think, will be there. We touched on Kojima before. I still believe that the Xbox thing is true, but I do think that he might show up with Death Stranding 2 or something else in that respect. Hell, maybe the Silent Hill thing, all the rumors about Silent Hill, not
Oh yeah.
abandoned. Not abandoned. God, just kill abandoned. And the app that goes with it. But
Let's
yeah,
get a director's
like
cut.
Kojima might
All
show.
right, it's okay. Let's get a director's cut.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, no. You even just saying director's cut might be the thing though, because he did tweet out something about putting together a trailer in the last couple of days. So he's probably putting a trailer together, like a launch trailer for Death Stranding director's cut. So
Is it a goodbye video
I don't know.
with James Blunt's song?
You're beautiful.
No, goodbye, my lover.
Oh, that one. Yeah, of course,
just-
right.
We could do that one too if you want. By all means, go for it.
Well, it doesn't sound like like the game might be exclusive, but he's not going to be bought out by Xbox if that's the case. It does sound like he is working on, because Norman Reedus even came out, of Walking Dead fame and also Naked in Death Stranding, and was meant to be in Silent Hills and all that sort of stuff. He did say that they're in negotiations over another title at the moment. Just him being a Hollywood person and the way things work in Hollywood being very different to games where it's all secretive versus not being that way in film. He did say that there's negotiations going on at the moment. So it could be... Look, he could be confused and thinking about the director's cut. But he seems to know a little bit about games, Norman Reedus, from things I've seen over the past. So I suspect that he does know the difference between a sequel and the director's cut. But I don't know, who knows?
Oh, there's an actor that's a gamer.
A couple. There's a few out there.
Well, I know that. Jack Black.
Jack Black, for example, is a perfect example. But the last of mine is a yes to one thing and then flat out rejecting a whole bunch of other people who are speculating about another. So Forspoken, which is the new Square Enix game, it's got dragons and shit, and there's a girl's like, oh fuck, a dragon at the end of the trailer, which was kind of hilarious. But the game looks awesome. Gary Whitta writes it. So Rogue One and Book of Eli and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. Even the first season of The Walking Dead, the game. And as I learnt recently, he was actually in like a random episode of The Walking Dead show as well, just as like some zombie in the background because he wanted to, so they did it. But that's kind of cool. Why not? I think Forspoken will be there because when Square Enix announced that, they kind of highlighted it was meant to be even a late 2021 game, which hasn't worked out, and that's probably COVID. So I think that could be early 2022, and they'll show that off in a big way. On the other side, a lot of people are suggesting that Final Fantasy 16 will be there, and I'm flat out rejecting that that's going to happen. The producer came out recently because this week, as well as the PlayStation event, it was announced that like Tokyo Game Show is coming back this year, and that Square Enix are going to be having a show there. And the producer said that, like, because people had asked him in some stream or whatever, like, is Final Fantasy 16 going to be at the event? And he's like, I'm not even sure if we're going to be able to make it to Tokyo Game Show. Like, we're super deep in development. It's all the same sort of stuff that Xbox is saying when it comes to Halo at the moment. That they're super intense in development. They don't have time to put together a story trailer or whatever. Same sort of thing going on for Final Fantasy 16. So if he's talking about it being unlikely that they'll be able to get a trailer together for Tokyo Game Show, then what are the chances that they've already got something in the bank ready for a PlayStation event this week? I feel like that's kind of slim odds, but I'd be happy to be wrong.
Is the Final Fantasy 9 remake out yet? Remake?
Don't do that to me, you piece of shit. Look,
The better
Final
one.
Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2? Maybe? I don't know.
Oh yeah,
That'd be kind of cool.
about
that. So that leaves kind of two last little prompts. The first one is, will God of War, whatever it's called, God of War Ragnarok or whatever the subtitle ends up being, and Gran Turismo 7 get release dates at this event?
God
You don't
of
have to
War.
specify a specific date if you don't want to. Just yes or
God
no.
of War, I'll say yes, but they won't give an exact date. They'll just
okay.
say what season, like it'll be
Yeah, okay.
winter,
I'll agree with that. Yeah,
spring,
I agree with that.
whatever. Gran Turismo, I'm going to put a question mark against because we haven't heard much, or I've heard much about Gran Turismo in years. Maybe they'll just drive a car and then a well-famous driver will just come out and go, here's the game, and walk off.
Just drops the case on the ground, and this is how you share your games with. Fuck you, boom. Drops mic.
Daniel Ricciardo.
That'd be cool.
Someone that just is well known for Crash and just, I don't know.
Yeah, why not?
Not Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise can stay out of it.
Keep him away.
Go away, Tom.
Gran Turismo, I think, is the one that comes out first of the two. Gran Turismo, I reckon, I'm tipping for May, June next year. And
Ooh.
God of War, I kind of agree with you where they... look, Gran Turismo, they might give a date, but I could see them saying it's, a month as opposed to a very specific date. But God of War, I'm 100% with you with. I'll just give a season. I think they'll say, because it's a US presentation, I think they'll say fall 2022, which will be our spring, obviously. So now, the leading into the holiday period, September to November. So yeah, that's kind of my stance on that. Which I guess for me, I might jump ahead of you in this one. Links to how they close the show, which I think will be with God of War.
It'll just go dark. They'll show the logo, go black, and you'll hear, "Boy." That's it.
That's it. Spring 2022. Sorry, fall 2022.
Fall 2022. My one, you brought it up early in the show, was for Spider-Man 2.
Oh, yeah, okay.
If they didn't have a trailer for God of War. Because I knew straight away that I thought, yeah, Paul's definitely going to do God of War.
Look, I'm a bit hesitant about it because they also closed with it last time.
Did they?
So that's how they closed the one this time last year. So I'm conscious of the fact that they did that before and they may not do that again. And if it's not God of War, Spider-Man makes a ton of sense. But
or they mash the two up. So you hear "boy" and then just the web comes up and hits the logo.
Spidey's had a kid.
Spidey's had a kid. Or they finally put Spider-Man in the Avengers game.
I mean, that still needs to happen.
Or they have the Avengers poster and then Spider-Man just goes straight through it and we see the big city of New York. And just don't even worry about the Avengers game altogether.
Oh. I mean, yeah, look, to hell with the Avengers. Though I've heard good things about War for Wakanda, and I do plan on playing it when I get a bit of a break in the 5,000 games that are coming out before the end of the year. Including the very long game that I'm presently playing.
Oh, yeah, that one. The one you told me about last week, yeah.
Yeah, that I can't confirm yet, but you'll hear more about this week. There will not be a review ready for an embargo, I can assure you.
5 to 6 months.
It's really fucking long.
5 to 6 months.
Look, it's a good thing that I'm in lockdown at the moment. It does give me a chance to spend more time playing it than I would have if I was at work face to face. But this thing's going to take a little while. But anyway, enough about that before I completely show my hand on what this game is and get myself slapped over the wrist by the publisher.
I'm Bread.
Spidey would be cool. Spidey to close it would be really cool. I can't argue with that. Like, it'd be amazing.
It'd be cool. But like you said, if they did it last time, then I don't think they'd go, or they could go back.
No, they did God of War last time. So if anything, it feels like my scenario would be the unlikely one of God of War ending it.
Or the other way around. Spider-Man turns around, goes dark, and you hear "boy," and that's it.
I mean, God of War could open the show. Like I said, Horizon. God of War could open the show because Horizon's kind of more known. They go, we'll just stick it in the middle of the show to keep the momentum going, sort of thing.
Then everyone can go to bed where they see God of War, like, yep, cool.
God of War, done. Horizon, done. Nap time, sweet.
Then they'll see the release date and blame Alana Pierce for the release date.
Poor Alana. She cops so much bullshit on the internet. None of it's her fault.
I know. Do people realize that she's not actually developing the game? She's just writing for the game?
No. I'll give writers some credit. Writers are definitely developers, but yeah, I know what you mean.
But say I know, but it's the same thing. Like, you can't just, it's her fault because it's not. Feel like go down the hole and stay down there.
What you need to do, if you want to blame anyone, and this is only because he can take it, Corey Barlow, go get him. No.
But
while you're at it, while you're going after him, you say, Corey, you've been wasting all this time not putting God of War out. If you're taking your time that much with the game, you could have taken some time to join Paul on Dev Diary. So come on. There we go. That's my last, maybe the last time that I shout out Corey Barlow for not coming on Dev Diary so far this year.
He might say no now.
He might say no now. Someone's going to send him this clip and go, this arsehole, look what he said.
Look what he said. How dare you? How dare you not work on other games?
Yeah. You need to come on Paul's show, damn it. Stop. And also, look, actually, we'll throw it out there. There's been a lot of talk that Santa Monica are working on another game that isn't God of War as well. So, and that Corey might actually be working on that he might actually have nothing to do with God of War, or maybe consulting, but that's about it. So maybe they'll announce that game.
Also, Corey, we've got a free spot on the show if you want to just come and join.
Can you imagine?
We
replace Damo with Corey Barlog.
Just send in your audition tape, Corey, and we'll get back to you on it.
It won't be a process like the Carlton Football Club. We'll just take you. We'll blow up the process for you.
And if a lot of Pierce is ever hearing this, you can also put in your audition tape too.
Yeah, we'll actually, we'll both step, we don't even need to use you as a third or fourth seat. We'll just both disappear for the episode, and we'll stick your names at the top. Yeah.
We'll call you Jess.
The Santa yeah, okay, right. Most the viewers don't know that I keep stuffing up the name with you at the top.
We shall call her Santa Monica employee.
Yeah. Unknown Santa Monica employee that does not deserve any hate.
And we'll blur her face out.
Yeah. We're horrible people.
Or she could just wear a mask of Corey. Does that make you happy?
Just all hate towards Corey Barlog, not for the game, but for not coming on Dev Diary. We'll wrap things up there before we incite more horrible bullshit on the internet, because people are assholes on the internet and we don't want to.
Also, don't take horse medicine, you dickheads.
Oh yeah, yeah, right. Any final thoughts on this whole thing before we wrap it up?
As long as you bring gameplay to a gameplay,
you're already doing better than Xbox.
Show. Yeah, don't say gameplay when there's no gameplay. As long as I say gameplay, I don't care.
I've got one question for you that I can't actually answer myself because I already have a console. Is there something that they could announce that would get you to buy a PS5, or slap down an order as soon as you're able to?
Spider-Man.
If they announce Spider-Man, you're in.
Spider-Man, I'm in. Because it would be Horizon, but that's coming out next year. So I'm in no rush still.
Well, I mean, Spider-Man's not going to come out this year either.
Unless
chance.
They bring... Well, not Siphon Filter. No, don't be silly.
Oh. The heart
not going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. You'll be waiting a while for Spider-Man 2. Even if they announce it, it won't be until at least 2023.
Well, maybe... no, nothing then.
Nothing now? Oh, that's a shame. We'll get you on board soon enough. All right, that is where we're going to wrap things up then. If you enjoyed this episode of Patched, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, all the buttons down below, and hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes Patched, Player 2 Plays, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. There's some awesome stuff there, so please subscribe and go and check it out. Visit the website, player2.net.au, for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series, Patched, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary, which I've shouted out a few times now, so go check it out. Corey Barlog is not on it yet, but one day, and I've got some really cool guests coming up, actually. 2 that I'm recording this week. Can't wait.
One of them's not Corey.
Neither of them are Corey, unfortunately.
Neither of them are Corey.
Neither of them are Corey, but they are exceptionally talented people. One of them has a British accent, and Damo loves the games they make.
I'm just going to do this for the rest of the year now. Yeah. Just Corey.
Let's just start badgering him on Twitter again. I need to share my wanted poster again. I created a wanted poster. Haven't you seen it?
No.
Oh, I'll have to show you after.
Talking about it.
It's been on Twitter.
Talking about it. I remember you talking about it, then I just forgot about it.
Yeah, no, definitely need to make it happen. Maybe I'll drive the message after God of War shows up this week. Where are we? Patreon.com/player2au, kicking a few bucks. Lower tiers early access, high tiers monthly episode exclusives, and then there's Twitter. Matto.
Matto_Phil. And also
Paul James Games for me. Go for it.
Send in your audition tapes.
Send in your audition tapes to fill Damo's spot, because we have no idea how much longer he's going to be gone for. So let's just fill that Damo-sized hole for now, and that's a horrible way to word things.
That's
it. Oh shit. Damo, I'm sorry.
You could I don't know.
Yeah,
be next to me.
Yeah, you'd be to Matto's left. It'd be great.
And you'd be one spot away from Paul.
That's the further they can keep from me, probably the better for them, I'd say. But anyway, that's it. Send us all your predictions and thoughts and ideas when it comes to the PlayStation Showcase. The event is this Friday at 6 a.m. and I hope everyone enjoys it. We'll see you later.